The energy bodies of man. Metaphysics maintains that man has 7 bodies. 1 densely material, physical, 3 energy bodies, etheric, astral, and lower mental, 2 bodies made of a mixture of energy and spirit, soul and higher mental, and 1 spiritual, the divine spark. I must note here that energy, either positive or negative, must not be confused with spirit. They are diametrically opposite conditions. Each one of these energy bodies has certain innate characteristics which manifest differently in the material plane. These bodies, contrary to the belief that they envelope each other, in reality, they all coexist at the same spot by simply belonging to different planes or dimensions. Each of these bodies dwells in its own dimension, and from there they can bring man information, be it by dreams or some transcendental process. Let us then analyze each body separately, and after that we will proceed to investigate the reason that made the creation of these bodies necessary. First is the material, physical body. This is the body that most people identify with their entire existence, because they simply cannot see the other energy and spiritual bodies. Second is the etheric body, considered to be the template, the blueprint on which the physical body is built. The etheric body is a body made exclusively of energy. It has all the organs of our physical body, which are, of course, in a pure energy state. The etheric body completely permeates the physical body in all its parts and fills it throughout. It is to be seen as the architect of the physical body, so to speak. All the organs of the physical body are maintained in their form and structure by the currents and movements of the etheric body. Our physical heart is based on the etheric heart. Our physical brain is based on the etheric brain, and so on. The etheric body is differentiated, multipartite, just like the physical body, but it's more complicated. In the etheric body, everything is in a living, flowing state of interpenetration, whereas in the physical body, there are distinctly separate parts. The etheric body is the canvas upon which the material human body is woven by the etheric vibrations. Thus, the etheric body is considered the blueprint upon which the material body is built. This body is made out of the energy that scientists call dark matter, which is responsible for the formation of dense matter. A new study from NASA's Spitzer space telescope suggests that galaxies are formed within large masses of dark matter. Astronomers believe that there is 5 times more dark matter in the world than normal matter, because every galaxy they studied seemed to be surrounded by chunks of dark matter of approximately the same size. They were able to indirectly measure how much dark matter was present, holding the structure together like glue. The tighter the grouping or concentration, the greater the amount of dark matter present. The next step for physicists is to detect it in a laboratory here on Earth. This effort began a few months ago when the Cryogenic Dark Matter Search (CDMS) experiment was initiated, buried 1 kilometer beneath the ground in an old mine in Minnesota in order to provide protection from cosmic rays. This energy can also be photographed with the method of Killian photography. Some call this etheric body aura, others call this energy prana, whereas others call it ogon. Third is the astral body, the body of emotions, the ego, and the I will. The astral body is also a pure energy body. It is the energizer of all human emotions, positive or negative. Through this body, in other words, man experiences all his emotions, his desires, his passions, his ambitions, his loves and hatreds, his lusts, jealousies, angers, and kindnesses. And this is why it is divided into the higher and the lower astral body. This body is characterized by the lack of productive reasoning, logic, since emotions have a lack thereof. Whatever reasoning it might seem to possess is exclusively the logic that man supplied it with during his material life, because it is through the astral body that the immediately finer, subtler body of man, the lower mental body, is supplied. Fourth is the lower mental body, the bridge that carries the intellect of the soul to the physical material body. It expands with material thought. Another energy body that dwells in the higher layer of the astral plane is the lower mental body. Its creation is affected by the astral emotional body, since human emotions are always interwoven with their respective human thoughts. In the energy realms, emotion is differentiated from pure thought. And while emotion is categorized and classified in the astral planes according to its quality, pure thought is recorded into the so-called Akashic archives of the lower mental plane. Biologist Rupert Sheldrake a morphogenic fields researcher, says, "Everything, all that has been said and done, even everything that has been formulated as thoughts in the minds of men throughout history, are being recorded onto some kind of universal etheric archive, which Indian philosophy calls Akashic archives." Many researchers hypothesize that our hyperconscious has access to the Akashic archives. Pythagoras believed that the cosmos contains a record of everything that happens in the universe. So, he attributed a cosmic memory to the universe, which receives and eternally holds all the impressions of experiences and observations. Furthermore, Pythagoras considered this cosmic memory to be a lake or tank from where ideas are projected as thought waves to be captured by spirits acting as receivers. How was the lower mental plane body created? The Creator blew into man his sentient, intellectual living breath. This living, nous-possessing breath of the Demiurge, Creator, created the soul. The soul is the carrier of nous, Greek word for mind, intellect, and reason. The blissful God, the benevolent daemon, said that the soul was to be in the body, the nous, mind, in the soul, the logos, reason, in the nous, and Father of all is God. So, because of this reasoning, after he placed the nous within the soul, and the soul within the body, he fashioned the all, the universe. Thus, in order for the soul to transfer its logical reasoning properties, attributes, to a material man, it built an energy communication bridge with the material brain and created the lower mental body. Subsequently, the noetic intellectual energy that the physical brain, under the soul's influence, produces with thought, creates the lower mental plane. Fifth is the soul. It is a mixture of energy, divisible essence, and spirit, indivisible, coherent essence. The soul, the fundamental garment of the true spiritual man, is made of two substances: the divisible, the paste matter of the subtler energy of the material world, the world of dyadicism, twofoldness, and the indivisible, which is the breath of the Demiurge, Creator of matter, which is the indivisible, coherent essence, Greek ousia, that the Creator had brought with him when he fell from the cosmi of the hyper-universes of the truth into the forbidden material universe tree. And he, the Creator, made the soul out of the following elements and in the following manner: out of the indivisible and eternally unchangeable essence, the indivisible spirit, and also out of that which has to do with material bodies and is divisible, divided by logos. By combining therefore the two, he had essences from both, and he compounded a third and intermediate kind of essence, between the indivisible and the divisible. The soul dwells in the subtler, finer energy realms of the universe, above the regions of the astral plane. These bodies, therefore, physical, etheric, astral, lower mental, and psychic, envelope, like garments, the spiritual man, the divine spark Adam, the second half of the divine man. Sixth is the higher mental body, the bridge that transfers gnosis, knowledge, to the physical body and reinstates enthemesis, remembrance. It expands and is nourished exclusively by purely spiritual thoughts, totally alienated from anything material. This body is born after the holy matrimony of the incarnated divine spark Adam and his own spiritual I Am Presence Eve. When the demiurge, the creator of matter, decided to weaken the power of the wholeness of celestial man, male Adam and female Eve one, who appeared at the outskirts of the reflective forbidden energy universe tree, he hastened to divide him, the celestial man, into the divine spark Adam and the I Am Presence Eve. This event of the division, fission of man refers to an absolutely spiritual process and has no relation whatsoever to the creation of the two sexes, male and female, in the material world. For our original nature was by no means the same as it is now, but entirely different. Unlike today, with its own two sexes, male and female, there used to be a third kind before as well, which had equal shares of the other two, and whose name no longer exists. For man-woman was then a unity, common both in form and in name, composed of both male and female. Then each person of this kind was round all over, with back and sides forming a circle. Zeus said, "I will split every one of them in two, so that they are made weaker." Then God, the ruler of the material eons and of the powers, divided us in wrath into Adam and Eve. And the Lord God brought a trance upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs, and closed up the flesh instead thereof, and the rib, which the Lord God had taken from man, made he a woman, and brought her unto the man. And thus the whole creation was made blind, in order that they, the created ones, may not know God, who is above all of them. And because of the chain of forgetfulness, Greek, leaking, their sins were hidden, for they are bound with measures and times and moments, since fate, Mira, is Lord over everything. Thus, after the spiritual lobotomy, man lost his spiritual memory and the veil of forgetfulness, oblivion, engulfed his existence. And while Adam, divine spark, incarnates eternally into the world of matter, sometimes as a man and others as a woman, his other half, Eve, I am presence, remains cut off in her spiritual home, and there, like Penelope, stoically awaits for her beloved Adam Odysseus, Ulysses, who is no other than the materially incarnated human, man or woman, to look for her. In order therefore for celestial man to reinstate his wholeness and regain his memory along with the truth pertaining his existence, he must go through the holy matrimony with his other spiritual half. When Eve was in Adam, there was no death. When she was separated from him, death came. When you make the two into one, when you make the inner like the outer, and the high like the low, unification of the two opposite poles of split matter, when you make male and female into a single one, unity, so that the male is not male, and the female not female, when you have eyes in your eyes, a hand in your hand, a foot in your foot, and an icon in your icon, then you will enter into the kingdom. When, in other words, the two spiritual halves of the same man are united inside the same body, and that man reinstates his wholeness. This is an absolutely mystical process which will occur after the completion of the three phases of self-knowledge. Know thyself, epignosis, epignosis. Pure spirit. Seventh is the divine spark, one half of celestial man. Pure spirit is a luminous wholeness of essence that came from the hypercosmy of the true light and has no relation whatsoever to the twofold energy of this world or the substitute light of the energy dimensions. As the true light entered the world of dyadicism, twofoldness, of the forbidden tree, of the knowledge of good and evil, it deflected and created the dark light, a substitute of the true. And when the light mixed with the darkness, it caused the darkness to shine. But when the darkness mixed with the light, it darkened the light, so that it became neither light nor darkness, but it was weak, it became dim. So when celestial man, who is compared to Narcissus, mirrored himself in the energy waters of the material world, he projected himself to the bottom of this black hole universe as a holographic material man, and called himself the Son of Man. How and why were the energy bodies of man created? The entire material universe is comprised of energy fields, with our physical material world as its inner and denser one. Scientists say that our entire universe is at the bottom of a black hole, point singularity. Gabriele Veneziano, the CERN physicist, says our universe is but a small piece inside a black hole. Terrifying indeed, if you think about it. Furthermore, scientists consider our universe, along with man, to be just a hologram. This hologram, then, must be projected to the space-time material film from somewhere else. What we will focus on now, however, is not the projection of our reflective material universe, but the reflection of spiritual man onto the space-time film of dense matter as the material man. The scene of man's entrapment is captured with extraordinary precision by the myth of Narcissus, who, as he looks at himself in the mirror, waters of the lake, the energy fields, dimensions of this world, he is trapped by his form, dies, and gets degraded to a Narcissus plant. The first man, this is the one who appeared to them, to the demons, he appeared in the form of a human being. All of the realm, dimensions, of the chief ruler quaked. The foundations of the abyss moved. He, this human form, illuminated the waters above the world of dense matter. His image, shone, appeared in those waters. All the demons and the first ruler together gazed up toward the underside of the newly shining waters. Through that light, they saw the image of man in the waters. This is celestial man's first appearance in the astro-etheric realms. Celestial man, entering the world of duality of the forbidden tree of good and evil, is also split in two and becomes dyadic and twofold. A, the divine spark, Adam, incessantly incarnating into matter, sometimes as a man and others as a woman, continuously fighting the adversities of material life. And B, the I Am Presence, Eve, who stays in her spiritual home and does not go out to dense matter to fight with the difficulties of material life as Adam does. As the projection of spiritual man, Narcissus, goes through the intermediate watery energy planes of the universe, it gets dressed with the energies of these dimensions, putting on corresponding diving suits, from the subtler, finer one, made of fine energy, to the denser one, of denser energy, all the way down, until he puts on the heavy, dense material body.